Hello everyone, so now we are going to discuss about BGP Multihop and update source. These two things we are going to learn in this class. So we will do one lab also, but before going to that lab, let's see what issue we will have and why we will use BGP Multihop command. So if you remember, whenever we are configuring eBGP, the router is using the TTL value 1. If you remember, in starting we told and also we verify, whenever we are configuring the eBGP, router is taking TTL value as 1. And if you see this one, like I have one router here, I have another router here, I am using the AS1 here and AS2 here. When we have AS different here and AS different here, then we can call this is a eBGP. So whenever we are configuring the eBGP, TTL value will remain 1. And whenever we are configuring iBGP, then we will have the TTL value 255. This we learned in our previous classes. So now we are going to get the issue because example, I have one loopback here. Imagine I have one loopback here, loopback maybe I can say loopback 2. I have the IP 2.2.2.2. I want to make the neighbor shift from here to here, not from the physical IP, from the loopback. So if our packet will come here, it will have the TTL value 1. So whenever our packet moving and crossing one router, his value is going to reduce by 1. So now we will have 1 minus 1, it will become 0 when it go to the loopback. So here we will have the issue, our TTL value becomes 0. When our TTL value becomes 0, our packet will not forward, it will drop. So this issue we are going to get when we are making the neighbor from the loopback. So how we can overcome? We can overcome by typing this one BGP Multihop command. So this we are going to learn how we can configure this one. So if you see here, I wrote here BGP neighbor anyway more than one hop TTL value decrease to 0 and it will discard the packet anymore. So just in simple, whenever we are configuring the eBGP, we need to remember our TTL value will be 1. If we want to send the packet to our loopback, it will not go, it will drop because TTL value, whenever our packet is crossing the router, TTL value is going to subtract by 1. So when it subtract by 1, it will become 0. So then our packets will drop. To overcome these types of issue, we need to type eBGP Multihop command. So we can increase with this one the TTL value. So our packet will not drop, it will cross that one. So we are going to do the lab, so you will have that idea more. And this command we are not going to run in the internal BGP. We are going to run this command whenever we are configuring eBGP, not the iBGP. And one more thing, whenever we are making the neighbor shift from the loopback, whenever we are making the, let me show you here, whenever we are making, example, I have this loopback, this is a loopback 1 here, and I have another loopback 2. I want to make the neighbor shift from here to here. So what I will do, I will increase the TTL value I will increase. Example, I will keep 2. So one will be here, one will become here, so it will reach here. And after that we will have one more issue. What issue we are going to get? We are going to have one more issue because we are making the neighbor shift from the loopback. So whenever we are making the neighbor shift from the loopback, but BGP treat the physical interface. So we will have the issue, it will not form the neighbor shift. To overcome that one, we need to run one more command, that is a BGP update source loopback, this one. If source eBGP from the loopback interface also required, update source loopback. So we need to run this one command, one more command, this one. So in simple, whenever we configure, we need to type this two command additional. Till now whatever we learn, same thing, but here we have one new command, this one neighbor. I am saying to the neighbor, if you see here, let me show you here, if you see this block diagram, I need to configure in this router saying that neighbor, my source will be loopback. And same thing, when I stand here, I will say neighbor, this is my neighbor 1.1.1, my source will be loopback 2. So I am saying make the neighborship with my loopback 2, and here I am saying make the neighborship with my loopback 1. And also we need to increase the TTL value. So these two command will be new. We are going to do lab, so you will have more idea about that one. Configuration very simple, like we done before. How we configure the eBGP, same thing, but now we need to run two more extra commands. So we will do this lab. Just you need to remember these two things, eBGP Multihop and update source. In interview, they will ask you what is eBGP Multihop, why we are using eBGP Multihop. So you need to say, to increase the TTL value, we will use the eBGP Multihop command. To increase the TTL value, we use the eBGP Multihop command. TTL is nothing but time to leave. They will ask you why you want to increase the TTL value. So you can say whenever we are configuring the eBGP, by default we have the TTL value as 1. If we are making the neighborship from the loopback, if we are making a neighborship from this loopback to this loopback, or from here to this loopback, our TTL value will reduce and it becomes 0. Then our packet will drop and it will not form the neighborship. So we need to increase the TTL value. And what is loopback? Update source. Update source we use to say that make the neighborship from the loopback. If we did not run that command, they are going to look the physical interface. So for that purpose, we need to use the update source, and we need to write loopback, whatever loopback number we have here. And same thing, when we are standing here, we need to say neighbor update source loopback 2. So when we need this command, update source loopback, when we are making the neighborship from the loopback. If you see in the production network, 90% you will see neighborship from the loopback only. In the production network, wherever we are running the BGP, we will see that our neighborship we will found from the loopback only. If anyone configure the BGP, they can tell you in 90% of companies they are making the neighborship from the loopback only. Okay, so now we will look. So what we have here, if you see here, this is one scenario. I have the R1 and R2. We are going to use the IP schema 192.168.12.0. That will be 12.1 for this router, 12.2 for this router, and I have one loopback here 1.1.1. Here I have another loopback 2.2.2. I am using /24. That means subnetting is done for this IP. And here also I am using /24. Your wish, if you want to use /8, you can use /8 also. So now we are going to make the neighborship from this loopback to this loopback. Okay, so let's do the configuration. So you will have the idea. What I will do, I will open the notepad. We will write in the notepad this configuration. So here I will write, this is a lab for BGP Multihop and update source, because after some classes we are going to do some more labs, so there we are going to use this concept. So we need to know what is this, what is meaning of eBGP Multihop and what is the meaning of update source. That's why we are doing this lab, and this is a new topic, so better we practice so we know that one. R1 configuration, same thing, basic thing will be remain same, that is assigning the IP. So I will do fast Ethernet 0/0. I have the IP address. What I have 192.168.12.1 255.255.255.0, and I will write here no shut. Then we have the interface loopback 1. I am creating one. If you want to take 0 also, we can take 0, no issue, but I am taking, as I am using the router 1, so I am using AS also 1, IP here 12.1, loopback also 1. Okay, our wish, we can take anything. It is not necessary we should use this or that. So now I will write the IP here. IP address I am using 1.1.1.1 255.255.255.0 because I am using /24. /24 means 3 times 255. So what I done here, just I assign the IP address. Okay, I will divide this notepad. I will copy this same thing. I will paste for R2. And here I will modify, this is a R2 and here will be R2, and what we have here, this IP will be 12.2, so this will be 12.2, and here we will have the 2.2.2.2. okay, so this is basic configuration. We have fast Ethernet 0x0. So this is just for IP address. Now we are going to write the BGP. So how we will configure? We will write router BGP AS number. What is our AS number? 1. Okay, after that what I will do, I need to make the neighborship. So I need to write neighbor, and who is my neighbor? I need to write that one. Now remember, we are making the neighborship from the loopback. Okay, if you see here, I am standing here, I am saying my neighbor. So who is my neighbor? This loopback. Okay, this is the loopback. Imagine this is a loopback. Okay, this is the loopback for R1, this is the loopback for R2. So I am making relation, that is I am making the neighborship from the loopback to this one. So what I will do here, I will write here neighbor and neighbor IP. What is the neighbor IP? 2.2.2.2. After that we will write remote dash AS, and what is the remote AS? 2. If you see, this is a remote AS 2. With this command, what I done? With this command I make the, what I make? I make the neighbor. But we need to make sure, if you are able to access, if you are able to ping from here to this neighbor, then only you can make the neighborship. We need to remember, whenever we are configuring eBGP, we need to remember that one, we should ping, we should have the access. Then only we can configure the eBGP, IBGP. What I want to say here, I am making the neighborship from this loopback to this loopback. If I am reachable, then only neighborship will form. If I am not reachable, then neighborship will not form. We need to remember in the BGP, if I am reachable, then only I can form neighborship. If I am not reachable, then I cannot form the neighborship. So what I need to do? I need to run some routing protocol to have the reachability. Once I have the reachability, I can configure the BGP. So what I can do here, I can run the OSPF, EIGRP, anything, or simple I can do the static route. I will say if anyone want to go to 2.2.2 network, forward the traffic here. And I will say R2, if anyone want to go to 1.1.1, then forward the traffic to this interface, that is 192.168.12.1. So what I am saying that one, we should have the reachability. Once we have the reachability, we can make the neighborship. But now here in this scenario, we don't have the reachability. How I know we don't have the reachability? I will show you. Example, I am in the router R2. Okay, I am in the router R2. If I want to ping the loopback, first of all, let me copy paste. Let me copy paste this IP. Okay, just I will copy this interface IP. I will paste in the R1 and I will paste in the R2. Then we will check reachability is there or not. Okay, just I paste the IP here for the R1. Now I will take this one for the R2. Now I will go to the R2. Okay, so everything is good. We assign the IP. Now we can check the reachability. Directly connected will have the reachability, no problem for directly connected. Example, if I want to ping 192.168.12.2, it will work because they are directly connected. This guy and this guy are directly connected. Let me repeat again what I am saying here. Let me why this move here. Okay, so what I am saying here, directly connected will work. I am here, they are directly connected, so when we ping it will work. But example, if I want to ping from here to this one, this loopback, it will not work because we don't have any route for this one. Okay, so what I will do, now I will ping 2.2.2. I am in the R1, so I will ping here 2.2.2. Okay, so if you see, I am pinging, it will not work because whenever we are configuring the BGP, we should have the reachability. If we don't have the reachability, it will not work. We don't have reachability. Okay, if you want, we will configure and then we will check. Okay, we will configure BGP and we will check. It will not work. We need to put the any routing protocol. We can put the static route. Till now, maybe you are saying, but before it is working. So if you see before, whatever lab we done before, if you see this is a lab we done before, they are directly connected. If you see here, they are directly connected. And we done here, they are directly connected here. And if you see here, this one, before we are doing this one, okay. So they are directly connected. We did not make the neighborship before from the loop back. Now we are doing the from the loop back. So that's why we know that we need to have the reachability. Before we did not use the loop back, we make the neighborship directly connected interface. When we make the directly connected interface, they have the reachability. Directly connected, they can ping each other. But if we make the neighborship from the loop back, they cannot ping, because if I have any network here, this guy don't know about that network, this guy don't know about that network, as we have in this scenario. Here, if you see this scenario, 1.1.1 we have in R1, but R2 don't know anything about 1.1.1. Same like that, R1 don't know anything about 2.2.2. So we will have the reachability issue. So we need to remember, whenever we are configuring the BGP, we should have the reachability. If we have reachability, then only we can make neighbor. If we don't have reachability, we cannot make the neighborship. To get the reachability, what I will do, and how we check already here, we don't have reachability. In the R1 I ping 2.2.2, it is not working. Now in the R2 I will ping 1.1.1, it will not work. Let me show you. I will write ping 1.1.1. It will not work because they don't have any root. If you want, I will show you also. This router R2 don't know anything about R1, 1.1.1 network. He don't know. If I write here show IP root, you don't have anything about 1.1.1 here. That's why they are unable to reach. For that purpose, what we need to do, we need to define one default root here. So I will write IP root. I will write here, I am in the R1, so I will write here 2 dot. I can write here saying that I am writing where I am writing in the R1. I am saying that if anyone want to go to 2.2.0, why I am writing this 2.2.2, because for this one, let me show you, this IP 2.2.2, we use the /24 subnet. /24 means 3 times 255. So we need to write 3 value, other value will be host, that we will make as a 0. So what I done, I wrote here IP root, then we need to write the network ID, we need to write network ID, IP root, network ID, then the subnet mask, then our next hop. So I will write here 255.255.255.0 and next hop will be 192.168.12.2. So what I done, just I wrote the default root. I am saying a router R1, if anyone want to go to 2.2.2.0 network, forward that traffic to 192.168.12.2. So what I am saying, just I am saying forward the traffic to that network. So same like that, we need to create one more static root in the R2 also. So I will go here, I will create in the R2 also. So in R2, why we are doing this one? To get the reachability. So here I am saying that R1, if anyone want to go to 1.1.1.0 network, forward the traffic to this IP 192.168.12.1. So this is a static route. Now I will paste this route. Okay, let me paste this route here. In the R1 I will paste this route. I will go in the global configuration mode, and now I will paste this route. And here also we need to paste this route. So I will go here, I will paste this route. I will go in the global configuration mode. I will put this route. We need to remember, like a condition, we need to remember, we need to have the reachability. To get the reachability, we configure this route. Now we can ping, it will work. Before it is not working, because we will have the reachability now. See, we have the reachability, it is working. So now if we configure BGP, it will work. So let's see here what we done. I wrote here router BGP1 neighbor, and I give the neighbor IP, and I wrote remote ASS2. Okay, remote ASS2, and I want to advertise my loopback. So I will write here how I can advertise our own network. We will write the network command. So I will write network ID will be 1.1.1.0 and mask will be 255.255.255.0. With this command we will advertise. Already we done before. Okay, so with this one what we are saying, I am saying R1 is saying my neighbor is 2.2.2 and neighbor remote AS is 2 and my own network is 1.1.1.0 and mask will be 255.255.255.0. Why we are writing this one? Because /24. Now we need to do same configuration, similar configuration in the R2. So what I will do, I will copy and I will paste here and we will modify. I am here in the AS2, so I will make this is a 2 and my neighbor is 1.1.1. So I will go here, I will write here 1.1.1.1 and what is the AS here? 1. So I will make this as a 1 and my own network is this one. So I will write here 2.2.2.2 2.2.2.0. Okay, so this way we will advertise our network. So now if we paste, it should work. Okay, but it will not work because TTL value. So we need to increase the TTL value also. First let me paste this and we will check and then we will put the TTL value and we will put the update source loopback. Okay, so this is a BGP configuration. If we are not making the neighborship with the router, directly I can paste this configuration. But now I am doing with the loopback. But before putting the loopback command, we will paste this one and we will check. So what I will do, I will go here. I will go in the R1 in the global configuration mode and I will paste here. Okay, this configuration I pasted here. Now I will go for the R2. I will copy this whole thing. I will go in the R2. I will paste in the R2 here. So I pasted in the R1 and R2. If we check, it will not work. If you want, I will show you show IP route. We don't have any BGP route. And if I write show IP BGP, if you see, I am in the R2. I have only my network only. How I know my network? Because next hop is 0.0.0. Next hop is saying 0.0.0 means this is our network only. And our weight will be 3276. So now we need to remember when I want to check if this network, I am getting this network 2.2.2.2. If I am checking this network I am learning from where? I want to check this network 2.2.2.0. I am learning from where? I will see the next hop. If next hop is giving as a 0.0.0, that means this network is my own network, means this is my what we can say LAN network, or this network is connected to me. I am getting directly from the same router. And also when we check the weight, when we are getting the weight value as a 32768, that means we can say this network we are getting from the same router. That means this is from our same router only we are getting this network. So we need to remember, if we have next hop as a 0.0 means this network, our own network only, this one, and our weight will be 32768. Okay, and also we can say if we are getting here I means we advertise this network by using the network command. So let me repeat again what I am saying here. I write here show IP BGP. I wrote show IP BGP. So what I get here, I am getting only star. So when we see only star, it is valid. If we get greater than, then it will be best. But now we don't have any greater than, so it is saying it is valid. And if you see here 2.2.2.0, this is the network I am learning. From where I am learning, if I see here, I am learning from 0.0.0 means our same router. I am learning from the same router. And if you see this 32768 is a weight, that means when we get this weight, that indicating that if we are learning this route from the same router, from our same router only, then our weight will be this one. And if we advertise this network by using the network command, then this will remain as a I. This will remain as a I. If we advertise this one with the redistribution command, then we will have the question mark. We are going to see this one in the when we do the attribute, but now just I am explaining that one, so you will have the idea. So if you see here, As I told, when we get this I, that means we advertise with the network command. And if you see here how we are getting that one, if you see this one where I wrote this, where we have this one 2.2.2, how we done, we advertise with the network command. This is a network command, so that's why it is coming I. If we put redistribution, then this value will be question mark. So we are going to see that later, no issue. Just I am saying you, but in our when we do the attributes, there we are going to discuss this again. So now we don't have that one. Okay, if you check show IP BGP summary, here in summary what we are getting, let me make this big. I wrote this show IP BGP summary, I wrote this one. So this is our router ID, this is our AS number 1, and if you see, this is the 1.1.1 I am getting, this is my neighbor, and if you see, this is a version 4, and if you see, neighbor is in which state? Neighbor is in ideal state. Why he is in ideal state? If you remember, we told we have the BGP state. First one is ideal, then we have the other states. If you remember, before we done that one. So still we have some issue, that's why this neighbor is stuck in the ideal state. So why we have this issue? Because we are making the neighbor shift from the loopback, and we did not increase the TTL value, and also we did not tell the update source loopback. So when we write that to command, then we will have the neighbor shift. Okay, so I will write here. What I will write here? I will write neighbor. Okay, neighbor, and I am writing in the R1. This is a R1 configuration. This is a R1 configuration. So I am writing in the R1. So I need, who is my neighbor? I am R1. So my neighbor is this one, 2.2.2. So I will write here neighbor 2.2.2.2. Okay, neighbor 2.2.2.2. And then we need to write the update. I will update the source. So I will write update source loopback. Our loopback. What is our loopback? Loopback 1. So I will write loopback 1. Okay, and another thing I will write neighbor. Same, I am telling to that neighbor only 2.2.2, and I will say EBGP multi-hop. I will say 2. Why I am saying 2? By default they have 1. Now I am increasing to 1 more. If you see here, we can see what we have somewhere here. Let me show you. If we check TTL value, in some command we can check TTL value. Show IP BGP, or let me write show IP BGP neighbor. I think in that one we can check the TTL value. If we see TTL value, we will have the 1. Before we check TTL value somewhere, let me check where it is. With one command we can check TTL value. So I think BGP neighbor only. Here TTL value, let me see where it is. It will show 1 TTL. When we type that command, it is going to increase. So we need to check where it is. If you remember, let me show you. Before we check already, this is only the command, I think. Let me check. When we want to check the TTL value, we will write show here. If you see, let me check here. It will show 1 when we do this configuration. After that it will show 2. That I want to make sure where it is. So I will show you before changing the configuration. In our previous class we checked that one. Let me check here where I put that screenshot. I remember somewhere here I put that screenshot, so we can see that. Maybe in starting lab. Let me show. When we do the lab here, you see this one. So how I will check this one? Show IP BGP neighbor. and in that one we will get TTL will be 255 when we are doing the IBGP. But if we are doing EBGP, then our TTL value will be 1. Let me show you where we have our TTL. Somewhere I put here for that one, TTL value will be 1. Maybe I did not put, but we have TTL value 1 also. Before some class I shown you, but I think I did not put a screenshot here. Let me check here. Just now we check for this one, we have same like that one we will have for the EBGP. This is a EBGP, so somewhere here we should have TTL value. Maybe I did not put that one. We will have TTL value will be 1. I did not put that screenshot, I think. But we should see here, somewhere here, I cannot see now, but we should have the TTL value should be 1. If I write show BGP summary, let me write again. I will write here, let me go here, I will write show IP BGP summary. So when we show IP BGP summary, show IP BGP neighbor, so now we should have TTL value should be 1. It is not showing here because still they did not form the neighborship, that's why it is not showing here. Anyhow, I will paste the command and I will show you. So now what I will do, I will put this one. Okay, now first I will put this one command. So what I will do, I will go here in the configuration, then I will write router BGP1 and I will put this command. Okay, and same thing for the other configuration we need to do here also. So I will copy this command, I will paste here, and here what we will do, we will write this one as a 1.1.1. Why I am writing 1.1.1? Because let me show you, I am here in the R2, I am saying my neighbor 1.1.1 update the source as a loopback 2. So make the neighbor shift from the loopback 2. So this one we need to write here. So this one command I am writing from R1 to R2. So I will go in the router BGP2 and I will paste this here. Something wrong here, neighbor update source loopback 2. Loopback 2 we use, or what we use here, 2 only I use. Neighbor, we go inside the router BGP2, neighbor 1.1.1, update source loopback 2. It should work. Loopback, let me put here what we are giving, loopback number. So this one is the number. Why he is not taking? We created loopback 2 only, right here. Let me check first of all what loopback we have here. Do show IP interface brief. Here if you see we created loopback 1. So I am giving loopback 2. So let me correct this one or give the loopback 1 here. Okay, did you understand here what we done? Here we wrote loopback 1. Here also we keep loopback 1. This loopback is a local significant, so no need to worry. Even if you create loopback 1 in the R1 also, loopback 1 in the R2, no issue. But for simplicity we are creating loopback 2 here. Okay, so now if I use the loopback 1 here, so I need to use the loopback 1 here. So I will write this one and now I will paste this. Okay, so now it will take. After that also we will have the issue. If you see show IP BGP summary, if I write show IP BGP, still we are learning only our route, not the other guy route. We should have 1.1.1, but we are not getting that route. If we check show IP BGP, show IP route BGP, we will not have that one also. Okay, we don't have anything. Why? Because TTL value is 1. TTL value is 1 and it is not reachable. And here we cannot see because when we make the neighborship, then only we can check. Let me show you. Show IP BGP neighbor show IP BGP neighbor. So here it is not showing the TTL value because still they did not form the neighbor. When they form the neighbor, we can see the TTL value. Okay, so here what we are getting the issue, our TTL value is 1 and it is going to expire because we are making from the loop back, from this loop back to that loop back. So what we need to do, we need to put this one neighbor, we are saying neighbor 2.2.2, make the TTL value, I am increasing the 2. So this one same thing we need to do for this router also. So I will copy paste and I will change this one as a 1.1.1. So 1.1.1.1. So let me paste this one so it will work. So I will go here in the R1, I will paste first this one and then I will copy the second one, this one, and I will paste in the R2. Let me go here, I will go in the BGP router BGP2 and then I will paste this one. After that we will see, we will have the root show IP BGP, show IP root BGP. So let me wait some time. If you see, we are getting this neighbor up. Okay, in R2 now I have the 1.1.1. Before I am getting issues. Let me explain again. Maybe you face some difficulty. See here, first these two command we did not write. If we are doing eBGP, iBGP, we are not writing these two command because we are doing the neighborship directly, not from the loopback. We are doing the neighborship from the loopback. That's why I need to increase the TTL value. So I write this command. And also another issue, whenever we configure the neighborship from the loopback, BGP will do from the physical interface only. So we need to tell the BGP, that is I am using the loopback. So we need to say update source loopback. So I done this one, update source loopback. Okay, so when I put these two command, we have the neighborship. Let me check now. Show IP BGP, show IP BGP, and if you see, I am getting this root 1.1.1. I am getting. I am where? I am here in the R2, and from where I am getting this one, I am getting from 1.1.1. And if you see here, weight will become 0. If we are getting that root, from 0.0.0, then weight will remain 3276. If we are getting from outside the network, not from our same router, then we will have this, what we can say, weight will become 0. Okay, and now we will see, if I write show IP BGP summary, not summary, the neighbor, we can see the TTL, I think here. If I put here, we can see somewhere TTL value will change to 2. Yeah, now we can see this one. I want to show you before this TTL value is 1. Okay, but we cannot see because we don't have the neighborship. When we configure the eBGP and directly connected interface, then we can see this TTL value as a 1. In first, maybe when we start the BGP in second class, we saw that one. Now what I done with this command, I use this command to increase the TTL value as a 2. So we can see this one. When we are getting this, when we are forming the neighbor, then only we can see this output. Before I am trying to check, but we cannot find because still they did not form the neighborship. So now they form the neighborship. So now I am showing you. So we increase this value as a TTL value 2. Okay. So now I can ping also. If I go here, I write ping 1.1.1.1. I can ping this. Okay, and we have this in our table also. Show IP BGP summary. So we have the 1.1. information in R2. And what else I can write? Show IP BGP. So here we can check, we have the 1.1. information. From here we are getting, before we are not getting. Okay, so simple thing is, this two command is extra. We need to remember, whenever we are making the neighborship from the loopback, we need to say update source loopback, and we need to define our loopback. We need to say to neighbor, this is my neighbor. So I am saying neighbor 2.2.2 update source loopback. Our loopback we need to give loopback 1. And same thing we need to say to the R2 also, that is neighbor, this is the neighbor 1.1.1 for the R2. So I will say neighbor 1.1.1 update source loopback, our loopback. Here I use the loopback 1. So I need to write loopback 1. If you use this one as a 2, example, if you are using this as a 2, for simplicity you will use this 2. So then we need to update here also 2, this one. Okay, but in our configuration I use this as a 1, so that's why I use 1. Okay, so this is the configuration what we done. We need to remember BGP multi-hop is used to increase the TTL value. Update source is used when we are doing the neighbor shift from the loopback. Why I am writing this update source? Because if we did not, just we are putting the commands make the neighbor from this loopback to this loopback like that. But BGP by default they will use this one. So to change from here to here we are writing this command update source loopback 1. Okay. And this one is used to increase the TTL value. So let me stop this recording.